We've been digging around all the businesses in GTA Online a bit of late, but it's been a while since we've reviewed the best businesses to buy in GTA Story Mode. My name's Dan, and I'm an old grumpy gamer. GTA 5 Story Mode on Xbox, PlayStation and PC has 15 different businesses you can purchase throughout the course of the game. Some are pretty affordable and some are outlandishly expensive. And in this guide, we're going to review each and every business so you can make an educated decision on which ones to spend on and which ones to skip. We've got a bit to get through, but if you're keen to skip ahead to a specific business, you'll find timestamps in the description. If you're on a desktop, notebook or tablet, you can also drag up from the bottom of the video window to show the chapters if that's a bit easier. Now, it's worth noting that you cannot, and I mean literally cannot, purchase some of these businesses in GTA 5 Story Mode without a little stock market manipulation. Even after the big score, no single character will have enough. So if you want to know how to make absolutely mind-blowing amounts of money in GTA, you'll need our Billionaires Guide. Links are in the description below and in the pinned comment. While we're noting things, some businesses are exclusive to specific characters, so we'll add some avatars of the characters each business can be purchased by at the top left of the screen. Right, there are literally hundreds of different mechanics in this game, so why would you want to purchase a business and make your playthrough even more complicated? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Most of the passive businesses in the game come with a number of additional missions. Nothing spectacular, either fetch quests or what amount to gang shootouts, but still, it's an additional bit of content and an additional bit of fun. Some businesses come with additional gameplay perks like free vehicle customization, free taxis, or free rounds of golf. And finally, if you purchase certain businesses with certain characters, you may unlock some pretty poignant dialogue, which you would not have already caught. Now, you may have noticed that I missed something there. Income. Unlike previous Grand Theft Auto games and GTA Online, the return on investment for businesses is somewhere between shite and abysmal. There's maybe 3 businesses in the game that will allow you to make your money back in a reasonable amount of time. The rest will never see a profit, but they are a nice flex. Anyway, let's go through the best businesses to buy in GTA 5 Story Mode, working from the least expensive to the most. There are 15 different businesses that you can buy in GTA 5 Story Mode, and they can be broken down into 2 distinct types. Passive, where the business can earn you money regardless of what you're doing in game, and active, where you actually have to complete missions to run it. There's also this kind of weird thing going on with the car scrapyard where it's active but your weekly earnings are capped, but we'll get into that a bit later. Oh, and for this guide, we won't be worrying about the vanilla unicorn because you don't actually buy it. Trevor just takes possession. The Hen House becomes available to purchase after completing Nervous Ron and can be purchased by Trevor, Michael, or Franklin. Like most property-based businesses you can buy in GTA 5 Story Mode, purchasing the Hen House does not unlock access to it. There's no interior, and you are not unlocking some kind of budget vanilla unicorn. But looking at the math, you can purchase the Hen House for $80,000 with the default earnings of $920 per week in game, and with each in-game day being around 48 minutes, that means you'll receive $920 for every 5.5 hours of gameplay, which can be shortened by mission jumps. So with that in mind, it would take you a minimum of 487 hours to recover your investment. So is it worth it? Oh, probably not. 487 hours of gameplay is a lot, and unless you make a literal living from playing single-player playthroughs of Story Mode, there's not a lot of chance you'll ever see a return. That said, it does come with 3 distinct additional mission types. So if you're keen to unlock all the content and you have a boatload of cash, it's still a neat little investment. Even though it's second on the list, the first business you can actually get to buy in GTA 5 Story Mode is the McKenzie Field Hangar, which is unlocked after Nervous Ron again. This allows Trevor to run arms to potential buyers. The business itself is $150,000 and it's the first of our active businesses. It has some interesting missions and is great flight and driving practice early game. So the way it works is you do one flight mission then 1 ground mission. Then run back to Trevor's place, which is about 60 seconds to drive away, sleep twice, and do the whole thing again. Each of these rounds, let's call them, nets roughly $12,250 and takes about 15 minutes. So that's 13 rounds to break even, which is, just shy of about 4 hours. So yeah, it is worth it, but I recommend waiting until later in the game for this one, or at least until you've completed the first hotel assassination. That way Trevor won't be left strapped for cash early game, and it gives you something to grind when you feel like a bit of mindless time wasting without holding the game back early days. So yes, get it, but wait until you're maybe 15 hours in. On to the LSPD Auto Impound, which becomes available to purchase after completing shift work, the first of the Tonya missions, and can be purchased by Franklin. This will slug you a solid 150 grand. As this is an active business, that is, one where you actually need to do something for your money, you'll need to spend some time getting through some missions. In this case, you tow cars, which nets you $500 per run at around 4 minutes apiece. So you can do this as many times as you like, but to break even, it will take around 20 hours. So if you have the time and a bit of patience, it's absolutely worth investing. If you're just here to rail through the storyline, then your money's probably better spent elsewhere. Next, we have the Downtown Cab Co, which becomes available to purchase after completing Friends Reunited and can only be purchased by Franklin. This will set you back 200k with the default earnings of 2 grand a week. Again, sadly, there's no access to the garages or the building with the Cab Co, but you could run taxi missions if you felt like it. So we're looking at a minimum of 550 hours to recover your investment, but it does make fast travel free for Franklin. Honestly, I wouldn't worry about this one though. It's really not worth the cash no matter how much fast travel you do. Smoke on the Water becomes available to grab after Nervous Ron and can only again be purchased by Franklin. At 204,000, it's still not small fry, but the default earnings are 9,300 per week, which isn't too bad and puts us at a minimum of 123 hours to recover your investment. So assuming you're taking your time with the game, you're not a speedrunner, and you regularly jump on and play, it's a solid maybe. 123 hours of gameplay is a lot, but if you play regularly and purchase this as soon as Franklin can afford it, then it might pay out before you get bored of story mode. Maybe. The Sonar collection stock becomes available to purchase after completing the Merryweather heist and can be purchased by Trevor, Michael, or Franklin. This will hit you for 250,000. As an active business, that is one where you actually need to do something for your money, you will need to do some grinding though. In this case, you collect nuclear waste from around the map using the submarine that comes with the dock, which nets you $23,000 per unit plus a bonus of $250,000 after you collect all of them. To break even, you need to collect 11, which should take you around 40 minutes or so. Oh, and it's worth noting the owner of the dock gets all the cash, regardless of who's doing the collecting. So if you purchase the dock with Michael, then go waste hunting with Franklin, Mikey still gets the coin. Wage theft is real, people. Don't believe what the Murdoch media tries to tell you. Anyway, there's a total of 30 available, and it takes around 2 hours to get through them all, and there is a guide below on how to do that. Plus, it unlocks the Abigail missions, which gives you a shot at a tenner and a unique car too. So if you have the time and a bit of patience, it's absolutely worth investing. If you're just here to rail through the storyline, again, probably better spent elsewhere. Despite its recent addition to GTA Online, the car scrapyard has been around for a while. This one becomes available pretty early on in story mode and can be purchased by Trevor, Michael, or Franklin. It's pretty cruisy at 275 grand, and it's a semi-passive business kinda sort of. So any cars destroyed in the greater Los Santos region nets you $150 per car. So after 1,834 destroyed cars, you can break even. Sweet, you might think to yourself, it's rampage time. I can easily destroy 100 cars in a short session. Well, not so fast there. Your earnings are capped out at $5,000 per week. $5,000. Destroy 34 cars in a 5.5 hour session, 5 grand. Destroy 200 cars, still 5 grand. So with this in mind, it will take you around 55 in-game weeks to break even, which works out to a whopping 308 hours of gameplay, and that doesn't even account for the cost of ammo. So it's probably not worth purchasing. 308 hours of gameplay is not insubstantial. That said, it is a bit of fun, and if you've got the cash, it can be a neat way of covering ammo costs. Plus there's the occasional mission too, so it's not too bad. Los Santos Customs in Blaine County is up next, and it's yet another one that becomes available to purchase after Nervous Ron, but it's restricted to Franklin though. But I kind of guess that makes sense. We're starting to get up there at $349,000 with the default earnings set to $1,600 per week. So we're looking at 1,220 hours to recover your investment. In addition, you may get called or messaged by your business manager, in which case you'll need to drop whatever you're doing and attend to them immediately, or risk a permanent loss of revenue. That said, assuming you're taking your time with the game, you're not a speedrunner, and you regularly jump on and play, it's probably not worth it if you're talking about income. Like 1,220 hours of gameplay is a lot, and unless you make a literal living from it, yeah, you're not going to make your money back. However, and it is a big however, this property gives Franklin free car upgrades. That's right. So you can modify Franklin's car completely free. So with that in mind, it can become a pretty attractive investment. Given the price of engine mods and some of the other neat stuff you can add to the cars in the game, I could easily spend 350 grand on mods for Franklin's car. But it's your call. Like, if you're a car guy, grab it. If not, don't. Hookies becomes available to purchase after completing, again, Nervous Ron, and can be purchased by Michael or Franklin. This one is a biker bar, so it makes sense that Trevor wouldn't be interested. We're starting to get into the real money here at 600 grand, with the default earnings of 4,700 per in-game week. That equates to around 716 hours to recover your investment. Given this is another business you can't actually enter, and it really only unlocks the same type of missions as the Hen House, it's a pass for me. On to pitches. Again, this one's up for grabs after Nervous Ron and can be bought by Trevor, Michael or Franklin, although my headcanon has this one as a Trevor purchase. We're up to 750,000 for this one, with the default earnings of 7,100 per week, and that brings us to 592 hours to recover your investment. Like so many others on this list, there's no access to the building, and the missions are more of the same. So I'll give it a solid Aussie. Nah, mate, not really my thing. Appreciate the thought though. Tequi-la-la is next, and this one becomes available to purchase after completing the Vinewood Souvenirs mission Willie, and can be purchased by Trevor, Michael or Franklin. This will set you back a cool 2 mil with the default earnings of 16,500 per week. Tequi-la-la also unlocks a few missions too, but again, nothing different to the Hen House. So we're at a minimum of 679 hours to recover your investment, and again, there's no access to the club itself, which is exceedingly disappointing given there's an actual interior. So numbers wise, not worth the investment. And on to the cinemas next. We have 3 available, starting with the Doppler Cinema, which becomes available after completing, you guessed it, Nervous Ron, and can only be purchased by Michael, but that makes sense given the Solomon subplot. It's a bit of a jump, coming in at a solid 10 mil, with the default earnings of 132 grand per week, meaning a minimum of 425 hours to recover your investment. Yeah, damn. Michael also gets free tickets to the movies, saving a whopping $10 per session. Is it worth it? Probably not. That said, it is the only cinema in the game that you can buy without engaging in some form of stock market and investment manipulation using Franklin and Lester. So let's go with maybe as a flex. Next on the list of entertainment centers is the 10-cent theater. Again, this becomes available after Nervous Ron and is also locked to Michael. You'll get stung a whopping 20 million for this one, so that's your entire end of game haul. Earnings sit at 264 grand a week, and doing the math, that puts us at a minimum of 426 hours to recover your investment. Now, normally this kind of ROI would knock this out of the running, but this particular purchase unlocks actual, genuine exclusive content, with Michael having to defend the theater and run promotional missions every now and then. So yeah, investment wise, not great, but with the additional content, yeah, it's a solid maybe. On to the first big ticket item, the Tivoli Cinema. Same as the Doppler and the 10 cent, this is Michael only and is available after Nervous Ron. At $30 million, the only way at this is by using Franklin and Lester to hit those kamikaze cash levels of degeneracy with the stock market. So not for the faint of heart. There's a link in the description below and the pinned comment on how to game the stock market in Los Santos. Santos. Earnings are set to $142,000 per week, which sounds great until you work out that's a whopping 1,180 hours to recover your investment. So that's a hard no for that one. On to the biggie, the Los Santos Golf Club. This is unlocked after Nervous Ron and is available to every character. Although you really want to have Franklin purchase this, it is fantastic. Doing the math, this will set you back a whopping 150 million. Again, you'll have to YOLO harder than Wall Street bets to finagle that kind of coin. Guide is below. The default earnings are $264.5 per week, which works out to a mind-boggling 3,175 hours to recover your investment. So is it worth it? No, absolutely not. 3,175 hours of gameplay is a lot. And even then, if you make a literal living from playing a single player playthrough of story mode, there's not a lot of chance you'll ever see a return. Like, to put that in perspective, if GTA story mode was your full-time job and you played for 7.5 hours per day, 5 days per week, without any holidays or breaks, it would take you 85 real-world weeks to get your money back. More than a year and a half of real-world playing on a single playthrough. It's a cool flex though, especially if you buy with Franklin, because, well, you know, yeah, great flex, rubbish investment. So there you have it. If we're talking return on investment only, my recommendation is to grab the McKenzie airfield hangar, Sonar collection stock, and the Blaine County Los Santos customs, and forget about the rest. Right, thanks for watching. Stay safe, wash your hands, and we'll see you in the next video.